Hello, my wonderful listeners. I'm David. I hope you are doing great today. And before we begin, let me start with a powerful question. What if you could train your mind to become stronger every single day? Imagine becoming a better version of yourself, not by luck, not by magic, but by simple daily habits. Well, today, we're going to learn something that can truly change your life.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Emilia. Welcome back to English Podcast Central. I'm so happy you're here with us. Today's topic is one of my favorites because it helped me in my own personal life too. We are talking about how to develop a growth mindset. And trust me, when you understand this, your whole life starts to feel lighter, easier, and more exciting.
So, grab your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever you like. Sit back, relax, and let's learn together like friends having a real conversation.
So, what exactly is a growth mindset? A growth mindset means believing that you can improve, learn, and get better with effort. It's the mindset that successful people use to grow in life, school, work, and personal goals.
Exactly. On the other hand, there's something called a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is when someone thinks, I am either good or bad at something and I cannot change. But that is not true. The brain can grow, your skills can grow, your confidence can grow. And that's why this topic is so important for English learners.
In this episode, you will learn what a growth mindset really is, why it is important for your life, how to practice it every single day, simple English expressions connected to the topic, and you'll hear real examples to help you speak naturally in English.
And later, we will also teach you 10 powerful vocabulary words and share some reflection questions before the end of the episode. Let's make this simple, okay? A growth mindset means I can learn new things. I can get better. I can improve. A fixed mindset means I am either good or bad at something and I cannot change. It's like choosing between two voices in your mind. One voice says, you can try, you can grow. And the other voice says, don't try, you're not good enough. Today, we want to make the first voice stronger.
David, do you remember the first time you heard the words growth mindset?
Oh, yes, I do. I was in college. I was struggling with math. And trust me, I was really bad at it. Every time I looked at numbers, my brain said, nope, not happening.
I think many people feel that way about math.
Absolutely. I had a fixed mindset. I thought, I'm just not a math person. But one day, a teacher told me something powerful. She said, David, you don't hate math. You hate feeling lost. But you can learn. You just need time, patience, and practice. And that was the first time I heard the idea of a growth mindset.
Wow, that's such a good teacher. Sometimes one sentence can change everything.
Exactly. After that, I started studying math differently, slowly, consistently, and day by day, I improved. Not because I suddenly became a genius, but because I changed my mindset.
Let me tell you a short story too. It's about one of my students. Her name is Lily from Thailand. Lily wanted to become good at English, but she was scared. She always said, I make too many mistakes. She felt shy, but instead of giving up, she decided to practice 10 minutes every day. Just 10 minutes. After 3 months, she spoke more confidently. Why? Because she used a growth mindset.
And I love this story because it shows something important. You don't need big steps. You don't need long study hours. You only need consistency and a positive mindset.
David, I think many English learners have a fixed mindset without even knowing it.
Oh, yes. They think, I will never speak English like a native. My accent is bad. I always forget vocabulary. But these thoughts are just stories, not the truth. Your brain grows when you use it. Your English grows when you use it.
Exactly. And here's something funny. Even native speakers forget words sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, many times. Even now, while doing this podcast, sometimes I think, uh-oh, what's that word?
Same with me. See, if we can forget words, then learners can too. It's normal. Mistakes are normal. But with a growth mindset, you don't stop because of mistakes. You use them to get better.
So, to make it super easy, a growth mindset is like saying, I'm not perfect, but I can get better.
Yes. English learning is not about being perfect. It's about being better today than you were yesterday.
And you know what's amazing? You are already growing right now by listening to this podcast.
Yes. You are practicing listening, learning new words, learning new ideas, and building confidence. That is a growth mindset in action.
Let's talk about daily life situations. For example, imagine you're at a restaurant in another country and the waiter speaks fast English.
Oh, yes. That can be scary.
Yes, and maybe you don't understand every word. What do many people do?
They freeze. They get nervous. They think, my English is terrible.
Exactly. Fixed mindset. But with a growth mindset, you think, it's okay if I don't understand everything. I will try. I will ask again. I will learn.
Maybe you say something simple, like, sorry, can you repeat that slowly? That one sentence shows courage. That one sentence is a growth mindset.
I remember when I traveled to Spain. My Spanish was, let's say, very basic.
I can imagine.
I made so many mistakes. I said things that made no sense. But you know what? People were kind. They understood I was trying. And every mistake helped me learn something new.
Yes, people love when you try to speak their language. And honestly, mistakes make conversations more memorable and sometimes very funny.
Exactly. So if you're listening to this and you're shy or scared to speak English, remember this. Every native speaker made mistakes when they learned their own language as children. So why should you be perfect? You're learning like everyone else.
A growth mindset is not only for school or language. It helps you in your relationships, at work, with friends, while traveling, everywhere.
For example, imagine your boss gives you a new task at work, something you've never done before.
A fixed mindset says, I can't do this. I'm not smart enough.
But a growth mindset says, I don't know how to do this yet, but I can learn.
And that yet is powerful. I don't know yet. That one word changes everything.
Let's slow down for our A2, B2 learners. Let's repeat the two mindsets simply. Growth mindset equals I can learn. Fixed mindset equals I cannot change.
Growth mindset equals I try. Fixed mindset equals I stop.
Growth mindset equals mistakes help me. Fixed mindset equals mistakes are bad.
Growth mindset equals step by step. Fixed mindset equals all or nothing.
So which one do we want? Of course, the growth mindset.
In the next section, we're going to talk about practical steps, specific actions you can take today to build a strong growth mindset in your daily life.
Yes, very simple, very realistic steps for your English learning, your work, your relationships, everything.
So stay with us till the end of this episode. You're doing great.
All right, friends. Now that we've talked about what a growth mindset is, let's get into the real how.
Because understanding something is one thing, but living it, that's where things really change.
Yes, this is the part I love the most, because a growth mindset isn't some complicated science theory. It's not some strange idea that only smart people use. It's something you can practice in your daily life with small actions, with small decisions, with small moments.
Exactly. The growth mindset is built in the everyday moments, in your kitchen, at your job, in your conversations, in your mistakes, in your fears, in the way you talk to yourself.
I want to start with something simple: your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself when no one is listening. That voice inside your head, that's the voice that shapes your entire life.
You know, Emilia, it's funny. Most people talk to their friends with kindness. If a friend makes a mistake, you say, "Hey, it's okay, you'll get it next time." But when we make a mistake, our inner voice says, "You idiot, why are you like this?"
Oh my God, yes. People are gentle with the world, but cruel to themselves. And the truth is, the voice you use with yourself matters more than you think. It's the most powerful voice in your life because you hear it the most.
So if you want a growth mindset, you start with self-talk. You replace "I can't do this" with "I can try." You replace "I'm so bad at this" with "I'm learning this." You replace "I'm stupid" with "I'm growing."
And you know what? That doesn't make you unrealistic. It makes you responsible. It means you're choosing the voice that helps you grow, not the voice that destroys you.
Next, we need to talk about mistakes, because mistakes are the #1 reason people stop learning English or stop trying in life.
Yes, mistakes are like the big monsters people are afraid of. But in reality, they're not monsters. They're teachers in disguise.
Exactly. Every mistake you make is a message. It tells you what you need to learn next. It tells you where your next opportunity is.
You know, when I was learning French, I used to panic every time I made a mistake. And one day my French teacher said, "Emilia, every mistake you make is like a step on a staircase. If you avoid mistakes, you avoid climbing." That changed everything for me.
I love that. A mistake is not the end. It's a step. And a growth mindset welcomes that step.
Another big part of a growth mindset is curiosity. Children are so curious, right? They ask 100 questions. They want to know everything.
But as adults, we stop asking questions because we're afraid of looking silly.
Exactly. Adult pride kills curiosity. And when curiosity dies, learning dies.
But with a growth mindset, you give yourself permission to ask again. You say, "I didn't understand that. Could you explain?" Or, "What does that word mean?" Or, "Can you show me how to do this?"
Asking questions is not a weakness. It's a sign of intelligence, openness, and confidence. Curiosity is how you grow.
Now let's talk about something super important. Small goals. People love big goals. I want to be fluent. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to be rich. But big goals without small steps, they're just dreams.
Exactly. Small goals are what make big dreams possible.
For English learning, maybe your small goal is, "I will learn 3 new words today." Or, "I will listen to English for 5 minutes." Or, "I will speak 1 sentence in English at work."
Small goals build confidence. Small goals are easy to start. And small goals create momentum, that beautiful feeling that keeps you going.
And here's something people never do enough. Celebrate little progress.
Yes, people wait for big victories to celebrate. But growth happens in tiny moments, and those moments deserve celebration.
If you learned 1 new word today, celebrate. If you spoke 1 English sentence today, celebrate. If you tried again after failing, celebrate. Celebrating small progress keeps you motivated.
Celebration is fuel for the soul. And the soul needs fuel, just like a car needs gas.
You know, Emilia, the more we talk about this, the more I realize something. A growth mindset is not just about learning English. It's about building a stronger you.
Yes, because life will always throw challenges at you. Life will give you new experiences, new problems, new responsibilities. But if you have a growth mindset, you don't break. You adapt. You grow. You rise.
Exactly. A growth mindset makes you emotionally stronger, mentally stronger, spiritually stronger. It makes you understand that life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you.
And everything you learn, every mistake you make, every challenge you face, they are all shaping you into a wiser version of yourself.
All right, my friends, this is one of my favorite parts of the episode. We're going to do something simple but incredibly powerful. We call it a mindset reset. This is where you change how your mind speaks to you.
Yes, and we're going to do it together. Slowly, gently, like friends sitting in a calm moment. If you can, put your hand on your heart. Take a small breath and repeat after us. Say this with me. I can grow.
I can improve. I am learning every day.
I am becoming stronger.
I am not perfect, and that's okay.
I am trying, and that is enough.
Beautiful. Every time you say these sentences, your mind becomes a little more open, a little more flexible, a little more courageous.
Yeah. People underestimate the power of talking to yourself kindly, but that inner voice, it shapes your reality. It shapes the way you walk into a room, the way you learn something new, the way you deal with fear.
Exactly. If your inner voice is against you, life feels heavy. But if your inner voice is on your side, life feels doable. Life feels possible.
You know, Elia, I remember a student named Paul. He was in his 40s and he came to me for English lessons. He was so nervous that his hands literally shook when he spoke. He told me, I'm too old to learn. My brain isn't good anymore.
Oh, wow. My heart breaks hearing that. People often think growth stops at a certain age, but that's just a story someone once told them.
Exactly. So I told him something simple. I said, your brain is not old. Your fears are, but your brain is ready. And from that moment, his attitude changed.
I love that so much. Sometimes fear wears a very convincing mask. It makes you think it's the truth, but really, it's just protecting you from stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yeah. And one day, after months of lessons, Paul told me, David, you didn't just teach me English, you reminded me that I can still grow. And you know what? That's all a growth mindset is, remembering that growth is always available.
You know, the more I talk about this, the more I realize most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they stop too early.
Yes, they give up after the first mistake. They stop after one uncomfortable moment. They quit when something feels difficult. But everything in life that is meaningful, it grows slowly.
Like plants, like relationships, like languages, like confidence. Everything important takes time.
And the funny thing is, nobody sees the tiny moments. Nobody sees your late night practice. Nobody sees your small corrections. Nobody sees your self-doubt and your courage. But those small, invisible moments, that's where growth happens.
It's like watching a child learn to walk. They fall 100 times, but they don't say, walking's not for me. They try again. They try again. And then one day, boom, they're running.
And adults forget that. Adults think falling means failing. But really, falling means learning. A growth mindset helps you stand up again.
Let's talk about how this looks in real life. For example, at work, maybe you're asked to do something new, a new tool, a new task, a new responsibility. Your first thought might be, I don't know how to do this. And that's okay. That's honest. But when you add the word yet, it becomes hopeful. I don't know how to do this yet.
That word is like a window that opens. Suddenly you can breathe. Suddenly you're not stuck. Suddenly you're allowed to learn.
Exactly. And when it comes to relationships, maybe you have trouble communicating your feelings. A fixed mindset says, I'm just bad at expressing myself. But a growth mindset says, I'm learning to express myself better.
Exactly. And when it comes to English, a fixed mindset says, I'll never sound natural. A growth mindset says, I sound better today than I did last month. And that is the truth.
Okay, now that we've gone deep, let's shift into something very helpful for your English learning, vocabulary. But don't worry, we're not going to throw big, scary words at you. We're going to teach them through conversation so you really feel them.
Yes, these words are connected to a growth mindset, and understanding them will help you describe your goals, your challenges, and your progress more clearly.
All right, let's dive into that.
All right, friends, let's go into some important vocabulary. But instead of teaching them like a classroom lesson, we're going to talk through them like two friends at a coffee shop. That way, you don't just memorize the word, you feel it, you understand it, and you can use it in real life.
Yes, and these words are so important for your mind, your future, your confidence. Every single one of them can help you understand your own growth journey. So let's start gently, slowly, with full clarity. Davis, let's begin with a beautiful word. Word number 1, resilience. Resilience simply means your ability to bounce back after something difficult. It's like an emotional comeback.
Exactly. And here's a real-life example. When I failed my first English exam, my resilience helped me try again the next month, and I passed. See, resilience is not about never falling, it's about getting back up.
Word number 2, perseverance. Perseverance means you keep going, even when things feel hard or slow.
Here's how you can use it naturally. Her perseverance helped her practice English every day, even on days she felt tired. Perseverance is like quiet bravery, not loud, but powerful.
Word number 3, adaptability. Adaptability means being able to adjust to new situations, new environments, or new changes in your life.
A real-life example would be when he moved to a new country, his adaptability helped him learn the language and connect with people. Adaptability is a life skill. It keeps you flexible instead of breaking under pressure.
Word number 4, mindset. Of course, we have to talk about the word mindset. Mindset simply means the way you think, your mental attitude toward life.
Here's an example that feels very real. When she changed her mindset from fear to possibility, her whole life began to open up. Your mindset is like the filter you use to see the world.
Word number 5, potential. Potential means the ability you have inside you, even if you haven't used it yet.
A powerful example is everyone has the potential to improve, but not everyone believes in it. Potential is like a seed. It grows when you take care of it.
Word number 6, challenge. Another simple but deep word is challenge. A challenge is something difficult that tests you and pushes you to grow.
Here's an example that many listeners will understand. Speaking English in public felt like a big challenge, but it made her stronger. Challenges shape you.
Word number 7, embrace. One of my favorite words is embrace. Embrace means to accept something with openness instead of running away from it.
Here's how it sounds naturally. He decided to embrace his mistakes instead of feeling embarrassed by them. When you embrace something, you grow through it.
Word number 8, persistence. Another beautiful word is persistence. Persistence means not giving up, even when progress is slow.
Here's a powerful example. Her persistence is the reason she speaks English confidently today. Persistence is like a slow burning flame that never goes out.
Word number 9, curiosity. Now let's talk about curiosity. Curiosity means wanting to know more, learn more, explore more.
A natural example is his curiosity made English fun. He asked questions, tried new words, and discovered new things every day. Curiosity is the beginning of all learning.
And finally, the word transformation. Transformation means a big, powerful change inside you or in your life.
Here's a real emotional example. Learning a growth mindset created a total transformation in her confidence and future. Transformation is when your old self becomes your new self.
Wow. When you really think about these words, Emilia, they're not just vocabulary. They're like chapters of a person's life. Resilience, perseverance, potential, transformation. These words are stories.
Yes, they're reminders that you are not stuck. You're growing, you're changing, you're becoming stronger. And every moment of effort counts.
Exactly. And even our listeners right now, simply by learning these words, they're already stepping into a new version of themselves.
That's the beauty of learning. Every word, every sentence, every repeat after me, it shapes your mind. It shapes your confidence. It shapes your future.
All right, my friends, before we close today's episode, let's slow down again. Let's take a breath. Let's reflect a little. Because learning is not only about hearing words, it's about letting the meaning settle in your heart.
Yes, reflection is powerful. It's like holding up a mirror to your life and saying, where am I right now? And where do I want to go? So let's talk through a few questions together, gently, honestly, like old friends who truly care about each other.
Here's the first one. Do you believe you can improve? Not a perfect answer, not a big speech, just a simple, honest feeling inside your heart. Do you believe you can grow?
Because everything starts with that belief. If you believe you can grow, you will. If you believe you're stuck, you stay stuck. Belief is the beginning of transformation.
And here's the second question. What is one small step you can take today? Not tomorrow, not next month, just one small, simple step. Something you can do right after this podcast.
It can be anything. Listening to English music, learning one new word, speaking one sentence with confidence, or even writing down your goals. Small steps build big change.
And the third question, what mistake taught you something important recently? Because mistakes are teachers, and sometimes the lessons you learn from falling are the ones that stay with you forever.
Yes, mistakes carry wisdom that success can't teach. Every stumble, every moment of confusion, every time you feel embarrassed, those moments are shaping you. They're polishing you. They're preparing you for the person you're becoming.
You know, David, every time we talk about mindset, I feel emotional because I think about all the people who gave up on themselves, not because they weren't capable, but because no one ever told them they could grow.
I know what you mean. So many people walk around carrying old voices from the past. A teacher who said they weren't smart, a parent who said they weren't enough, a friend who laughed at their dream. Those voices stay inside them, quietly blocking their future.
But today, I hope our listeners hear a different voice, a kinder one, a stronger one, a voice that says you are not done. You can learn, you can change, you can grow.
And I want to speak directly to you, the person listening right now. Yes, you. Not everyone else, you. You have more potential than you know. You have more strength than you feel. And your future is bigger than your past.
Your mistakes do not define you. Your fears do not limit you. Your doubts do not stop you unless you allow them to. You are a growing human being, not a finished product.
You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to rush. You just need to keep taking small steps. That's how growth works. Not fast, not loud, but steady.
I want to leave you with this thought. Every day is a chance to become a little better than yesterday. Just 1% better. That's all. Tiny improvements add up in a beautiful way.
And trust me, we've seen so many students transform their lives with just small daily habits. One new word, one new sentence, one new belief, one new step. That's all it takes.
You are capable of so much more than you think. You are growing, even when you don't notice it. And you are absolutely worthy of the future you dream about.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today. It means a lot, truly. And remember, you have unlimited potential. You can grow, you can improve, you can become the person you want to be. All you need is a growth mindset.
We love you. We believe in you. Keep learning, keep growing, keep shining, and we'll see you in the next episode of English Podcast Central.
Take care, my friends, and always remember, the best version of you is still ahead.